that he was superior to Abu Bakr and Umar. In reality, he did all this to safeguard and strengthen his rule. It is surprising that most Shias also could not perceive the designs of Ma'mun and held a favorable opinion of him. The fact is that Harun and Ma'mun acted for an identical purpose, and that was to strengthen their regime. Their ways differed, but their real goal was same. Harun poisoned Imam Kazim, and Ma'mun poisoned Imam Rida, a. The only difference was that Ma'mun realized from Harun's mistakes that an open persecution of Ali's descendants would be equal to political suicide. Imam Rida, a. and Ma'mun. Imam Ali ibn Musa ar Rida was the best human being of his age and enjoyed the highest position in the view of Allah and the people. Historians say that when he passed through Nishapur, 37,000 flocked on the roads to welcome him. The scholars held the reins of the Imam's mount and wanted to benefit from his knowledge and to hear from his blessed tongue the tradition of his ancestors. Imam Rida's Eid prayer and Ma'mun. Ma'mun requested Imam Rida to lead the Eid prayer, but the Imam excused himself according to the terms agreed at the time of his appointment as heir apparent. When Ma'mun insisted further, the Imam agreed to his request, but said that he would go out to lead the prayer in the manner of the Holy Prophet. Ma'mun agreed to the terms of the Imam. People were waiting to see Imam Rida coming out with the same pomp and glory as the caliphs and rulers did, but all were shocked when they saw that him came out of his house barefoot, reciting Takbir 38 and walked towards the ground for Eid prayer. Government officials and members of the royalty came down from their horses and they also took off their shoes, and followed the Imam weeping and chanting. The Imam recited the Takbir thrice at every step. It is mentioned in books that Faisal ibn Sahl said to Ma'mun, if Imam Rida arrives to lead prayers in this condition, he will enchant the people. It is, therefore, my suggestion that you call him back. Ma'mun sent someone to ask the holy Imam to return, and the Imam called for his shoes, put them on, mounted his horse and returned home. Ma'mun decided to lower the prestige of the Imam in the view of people and to tell them that if the Imam hated the world, it was because he could not lay his hands on it, and if he could acquire rulership, he would accept it very gladly. He, therefore said to Imam Ali ar Rida, son of Allah's messenger, I want to abdicate and to hand over the rulership to you. Thereupon the following conversation took place between them. Imam Rida, if the caliphate is your right and Allah has specified it for you, you cannot forsake it and hand it over to someone else, and if it is not your right, you cannot lawfully present it to someone else. Ma'mun, you must accept the caliphate. Imam Rida, I take pride to be a servant of Allah, and by means of piety, I want to keep away from evils. By avoiding unlawful things and by means of meekness, I hope to acquire proximity to Allah. Ma'mun, if you don't accept the crown, you must become my heir apparent. Imam Rida, Allah knows that I am not pleased to accept this. Ma'mun, do you want to tell the people that you are an ascetic? Imam Rida, by Allah, I have not told a lie throughout my life and never abandoned the truth for the sake of the world, and I know what your object is. Ma'mun, what is my object? Imam Rida, you want to tell the people that Imam Rida is not inclined to material wealth because it is beyond his reach. As soon as he had an opportunity, he agreed to become the heir apparent. Ma'mun became angry and said, by Allah, if you do not agree to become my heir apparent, I shall kill you. Imam Rida replied, if it is such, I agree to it because Allah has forbidden me to put my life in danger. 1. Will accept the heir apparent position on the condition that I shall not interfere in state affairs, nor shall I appoint or dismiss anyone, or give any order, or give any judgment, or bring about change in any matter. I will only advise from a distance. Ma'mun accepted these conditions. The intention of Ma'mun was to tell the people that as a result of becoming the heir apparent, Imam Rida had also become interested in the material world. However, the course adopted by the holy Imam increased his dignity and honor. When Ma'mun got tired as the tricks adopted by him were not successful, he poisoned the Imam to death. Ma'mun behaved towards Imam Rida in the same manner as his father Harun had behaved towards Imam Musa al-Kazim, and as Mansur had behaved towards Imam Ja'far Sadiq. He employed deceit in The same way as Muawiyah ibn Abu Sufyan had done in the case of Imam Hassan, a. To protect their regimes, the despotic rulers did not exercise any restraint in shedding the blood of the saints of Allah. However, this sacrifice-giving attitude was natural in the view of noble men and reformists in the path of truth. It is on this account that we love the reformers and despise the despotic rulers and do not accord them any religious standing. Mu'tasim, the Abbasid. In the year 210 AH after the death of Ma'mun, allegiance was given to Mu'tasim. He ruled for a little more than 8 years. He was succeeded by Wathiq, who ruled for 5 years. Abu al-Faraj Isfahani, author of Makatalat Talibayan, writes, Muhammad ibn Qasim ibn Umar ibn Ali ibn Abu Talib rebelled during the reign of Mu'tasim. He was defeated and imprisoned, but later he escaped. Abdullah ibn Husayn ibn Abdullah ibn Ismail ibn Abdullah ibn Ja'far ibn Abu Talib refrained from wearing a black dress, which was the color adopted by Bani Abbas. Mu'tasim kept him imprisoned till he died. Mu'tasim imprisoned Imam Muhammad Taqi. Later he released him and asked al-Fazl, the daughter of Ma'mun, who was the wife of Imam Taqi, to poison him. She acted on the instructions of Mu'tasim and administered poison to the holy Imam. Sayyid Mohsen al-Amin writes, Wathiq honored Ali's descendants, behaved kindly towards them and also gave them wealth. Mutawakkil, the Abbasid. After Wathiq's death, his brother Mutawakkil became the caliph. He ruled for 14 years. Mutawakkil became notorious for his free living, immodesty, and alcoholism. Masudi writes, Mutawakkil was the first Abbasid caliph to participate in fun parties and merriment. Justice Sayyid Amir Ali writes, 39. During the time of Mutawakkil there had appeared signs of disintegration of the Islamic Empire. Corruption had found roots in all departments of the state, and orders were given that others should also imitate the evils. In the time of Mutawakkil, the broad-minded persons were deprived of their rights, and as a result of this nonchalance, the Turks dominated the government and assumed charge of the affairs of the state. It is mentioned in Makatalat Talibayan that Mutawakkil made severe attacks on Abu Talib's descendants and subjected them to great hardships. He bore them grudge and leveled various charges against them because he was suspicious of them. Mutawakkil appointed Umar ibn Faraj Rakji as the governor of Medina and Mecca. This ill-natured governor stopped the people from meeting Abu Talib's descendants and did not allow anyone to help them. Whoever rendered them the least assistance was punished severely and fined heavily. The economic condition of Abu Talib's descendants became so bad that one shirt circulated among a number of Sayyid women to offer prayer one after another. When the shirt was worn out it was patched. Mutawakkil desired that the womenfolk of Abu Talib's descendants should stay in their houses and a number of them should offer prayers using one patched shirt, whereas the loose women associated with the court displayed their gold ornaments and silken dresses. Once, Harun ar-Rashid had also sent Jaludi to take away the clothes of Sayyid women, leaving only one dress for each, but Mutawakkil persecuted them so much that they were obliged to live without clothes. That is how the ways and manners of Quraysh, the children of the chiefs of Arabia, changed. With the passage of time, Abu Talib's descendants got scattered during the time of Mutawakkil. According to some historians, if Mutawakkil is called the Nero 40 of the Arabs, it will not be wrong. Because many descendants of Abu Talib went away to unknown destinations, and those like Ahmad ibn Isa al-Husaini and Abdullah ibn Musa al-Husaini died in hiding, whereas some others like Muhammad ibn Salah and Muhammad ibn Ja'far revolted against Mutawakkil on account of his oppression. Mutawakkil did not content himself with persecution of the living. He even showed disrespect to the graves of the dead. He demolished the tomb of Imam Husayn and buildings around it and banned people from performing ziyarat. He announced that if any person went to perform ziyarat of Imam Husayn's tomb and was arrested, he would be put into prison. 41. A poet says about Mutawakkil, by Allah, if Bani Umayyah mercilessly killed the son of their prophet's daughter, Bani Abbas also acted in a similar way and demolished his grave. They regretted not participating in his murder, but after death, when the bones had decayed, they went in their search. Ibn Abul Hadid has written 42 that Mutawakkil had good relations with Ali ibn Jaham because he also bore Malice towards Imam Ali, a. He suffered from the habit of abusing the departed ones. One day Abu Elena saw him abusing Imam Ali, and said to him, "Do you abuse Ali because he killed both the active, as well the passive partner of sodomy, and you are also a passive homosexual?" Steadfastness of Ibn Sikkat. Ibn Sikkat was a distinguished scholar and a literary personality of his time. Mutawakkil appointed him as the tutor for his son, Mutaz. One day Mutawakkil asked Ibn Sikkat, "Whom do you think are better, Mutaz and Muayyad or Hassan and Husayn?" Ibn Sikkat looked in disdain and replied, "By Allah, I consider Kambar, Imam Ali's slave, to be better than you and your sons." Mutawakkil ordered the Turk slaves to pull out his tongue from the back of his head. When his tongue was pulled out in this manner, Ibn Sikkat died and met the fate he had feared for in his following verses. He says, "A brave youth is killed owing to the slip of his tongue, but a man does not die if he hits the ground. Owing to this slip in his speech, the brave youth lost his head. But if the foot of a man stumbles, it gets healed in a few days." Mutawakkil had kept a court jester named Ubadah. He used to tie a pillow onto his belly and he danced before Mutawakkil while the singers sang, "The big-bellied caliph of the Muslims has arrived." It was meant to ridicule Imam Ali, a. Mutawakkil enjoyed this scene, drank wine and laughed. One day this scene was performed before Mutawakkil's son, Muntasir, who said to his father, "The person whom this clown is ridiculing and thus making the people laugh, was your cousin and a distinguished person of your family, and you should feel proud of him. In case you want to ridicule him, you should do so in solitude and should not leave this task to such dogs." Mutawakkil then asked the singers to sing a very obscene verse that we dare not to translate. Through this, Muntasir came to know that Mutawakkil even abused Lady Fatima as Zahra. He approached one of the ulama to give a decree on this matter. The scholar said, "It is necessary to kill him, but the life of one who kills his father is shortened." Muntasir said,